Yo ho ho, Da Mafia. Welcome to, well, not necessarily an edition of the Da Mafia Report. This is something a little different. You've probably heard me talk about my podcast called BLEAV in Bills, which I just so happened to do with former safety of the Buffalo Bills, Aaron Williams. Well, we decided that we wanted to bring this podcast to YouTube as well, and what not a better episode to drop than our interview with Buffalo Bills legend Takeo Spikes. I mean, we had such a fantastic conversation with this guy. I really think that you guys are about to enjoy it. From now on, I'm planning on dropping this podcast on YouTube every single Friday. I'm dropping it today because I frankly was just so excited that I had to get it out as soon as possible. But say in the future that you want to listen to this first via audio, then you need to subscribe to BLEAV in Bills in either Spotify or maybe Apple Podcasts, Google Play, wherever the hell you listen to podcasts, you will find it, where we talk Bills all the time and we put out a weekly episode. You don't want to miss it. Without further ado, Dom Mafia, let's just dive in. Yo ho ho, Bills Mafia, what's up? Welcome to yet another edition of BLEAV in Bills with your hosts Dan Mitchell and Aaron Williams. And guys,
what's going on, Bills Mafia?
We have a special guest, and say that you're watching this. A legend.
A true legend.
Not only for the Bills, but the entire damn league. Needs no introduction. It's Takeo Spikes.
Yo.
What's going on, Takeo?
Woo! There it is. There goes the energy. That's the Takeo I know.
Yes, sir. Hey, Dub, it's a pleasure to be with you and my man, the main man, Dan.
I appreciate you coming on the pod with us, man. Share some insight.
Listen, man, this is huge. It's huge because A-Dub, we always had run-ins with each other and all the respect in the world for each other.
Absolutely.
And so, when the opportunity presented itself, I was like, you know what? It's not even why not. It's like how fast. So
my man,
it was good to where we're able to kind of blend the schedule, man, and to really see the continuity and like the gestures that you and Dan have been able to put together in such a short period of time. Like, I commend you guys, man.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
And yeah, man, we definitely appreciate that. And so, I mean, honestly, I think I speak for all of Bills Mafia in really wondering what you've been up to lately. I know that you have the Behind the Mask podcast, which is an awesome show, by the way. But I mean, like, we'd love to hear what you got going on.
Yeah, man. So, when I did a lot when I first got out of football. Retired in 2013. Decided to go back to school. But in the midst of going back to school to finish my undergrad, I've always had a love and a passion for photography. I decided to take that on, graduated from undergrad, decided to get an MBA from UM. So I guess now officially, somewhat I can throw up the U.
Okay, there it is. There you go.
You know what I mean? So did that, came out with my photography coffee table book, the title Behind the Mask, and volume 1 was dedicated to some of the greatest linebackers that ever played in the game, and I got them sharing their story of how did they become great, and what trials and tribulations did they go through to not only become the player that they were, but the person who they are still to this day. And, once I did that, graduated, got my MBA, and really that just kind of turned me into what I'm doing now. I think one of the things I forgot to mention, all of the photographs in the book I took. So, and I also wrote it as well. So that's what makes it so sweet for me. So currently now I'm working on volume 2 with some of the greatest running backs in the game. And I do my show, Behind the Mask podcast show. Shameless plug.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So that's what I do, baby. And we're on all platforms. So make sure you follow and let's talk good. We talk about football, social issues. We talk about life, chicks, how many beers you can throw up. Cheers, gentlemen. Cheers.
Cheers. I like
Cheers.
that. Takeo, let me ask you this, because I'm in a little bit of a situation that you were in back then. I'm actually in school now getting my undergrad. What was there any difficulty coming back from being away from school for so long, or was it kind of easy, kind of just getting the gist of things?
Bro, so that's a good question, because for me, I was so afraid of. I was afraid of like what I didn't know because I haven't been back to school in so long. And so when I finally went back, it was actually easier. And the reason why is it's we come from a structured background. And when you come from a structured background, always playing the game, and you got to know, like, hey, I got to be here, 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 here every day. So I put that same type of energy that I gave towards football and football gave me, I made a schedule off of it. And so that's what made it easier for me. So bro, it ain't going, you're in a different mindset right now too. You actually, not saying that you attended school just to play football, but now you actually going to school to get your degree versus to do both. Right. So that's what makes it different.
Makes sense. That makes sense. It's getting difficult. When I first got back, I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can finish this. This is on another level. Like the comprehension and everything. I was like, man, I've been gone away from school for so long. I was nervous. I was like, I don't know if I can do this because the work that was giving me wasn't like it was hard. It was just an overload of things. So I had to like.
That's it.
It's all it is an overload, and I had to apply everything I learned from football as far as being time management and apply it to my schoolwork. So that's what it is, makes it easier, is knowing how I handled my time management in the league, transferred over to school, and it worked out better for me now than it has before. So that's really cool that you did that.
And how far along were you, Takeo? And so right when you started back, were you entering your senior year when you started back, or?
Well, no, because I left as a junior. So back then – we were on quarters versus everybody takes semesters now. So I only had one quarter that I took. And so I left as a junior, didn't go back to school in January. Fast forward now, I damn near had a good year and a half of work, but man, I went heavy online, took a couple of classes in person, and that's how I was able to get through it, but
nice.
For the most part, it was a good experience.
And Mr. Spike's an MBA as well, throwing that title at the end of the last name, man. I respect it.
Cheers, I respect it, man. Dan. Cheers again.
Cheers,
I like
man.
that. I like that.
Cheers, man. I respect that. But yeah, guys, we definitely have an awesome show. We are going to field a bunch of questions that you guys littered with us to sort of give to Takeo. But first, guys, we need to address the elephant in the room right here. There's no question that the Bills are playing so with the Tennessee Titans this Sunday, and that's allegedly at this point. It sounds like it's not going to happen, right? And this morning I woke up, and right after 2 days of consecutive 0 positive tests, they ended up having 2 more positive. So with me, was visibly angry and went on Twitter and said there was clearly negligence that happened during this. Like, I definitely understand that nobody wants to contract COVID, but with that many cases, it was clear that there was some type of gross negligence. And then I felt bad, but then maybe 2 hours later, they said that they ended up having an off-the-books workout a day after they were instructed to quarantine and stay away from their facility. And now there's rumors that the NFL Rate is about to lay down historic penalties, whether or not that this means that this is a forfeit or they lose draft picks. So, I mean, from players' perspectives, I'm sort of curious to hear y'all's thoughts on whether or not that this will be deserved or whether or not that I'm just overreacting as a fan.
I'm going to Takeo on this one.
All right.
He has a better insight.
Okay. So give it to me again now, the question again.
Yeah, so did I overreact and say that, all right, so the Titans deserve whatever they have coming to them for clearly ignoring the protocols that were put in place during this season?
Yeah. Yes, you did overreact.
Okay. Damn. Okay.
Think about it like this.
Okay.
And I'm going to speak with the same hat that you're wearing right now.
Yeah.
Neither one of us have played in one single snap of professional football this year. And will we? No. So honestly, we have to take a step back and just say, you know what? we have been spoiled, and these guys are really putting their lives on the line. And you see, sometimes we have a strong tendency to forget about the ones who opted out. I think about New England. They had at least 6 guys to opt out.
Yeah.
And that's unheard of, especially after winning championships. So I think you're overreacting, but do I think it's fair? Yes, I don't say it's fair. It is what it is because I'm a fan, just like you.
Yeah.
And so, on Sunday, I want to be entertained so I can come back and have these fabulous podcast conversations so we could talk about the game. And so if somebody catches COVID and is wrong as shit now, I'm just telling you, as the fan, I'm just like, damn, man, he finna get somebody infected. Now this person. And so you like, now I'm hoping I got football. But I just want to try to keep everything into perspective too and just understand, I commend these young men because they didn't have to play. Everybody had a choice in the fight. But to answer your question, selfishly, I hate to see it. And I would hate to be one of the guys on the Buffalo Bills teams just because of the uncertainty that it puts you in from a mindset.
Mm-hmm. And so what about you, Aaron?
I'm with him there. We as fans, we have been spoiled to even being gracious enough to even have a season this year.
Touché.
During a pandemic, why we really should not be playing games anyway as it is, but we decided to take that chance and take that leap of faith of hopefully nobody continue the season. Hopefully nobody gets infected or has the virus. But man, it's a pandemic, man. What do you expect? And nobody's going to get it at some point. If you're out and about and you haven't, even if you have 25% fans or 50% fans in the stadium, you're still putting everybody at risk by having people together. Now, is everybody following the 6-foot rule? Probably not. We're trying our best, but we're trying to watch the game, and to watch the game, you interact with people, you high five, you hug, you do whatever it is. So, as a player's perspective, I think that's good. That if they don't have a game, then that's fine. We have to put in considerations that these guys are putting not only their lives but their family lives in jeopardy by playing and being around the pandemic or around coronavirus that is still out there. Yeah, we ignore it, thinking that we can still play this game and have the set aside rules to play, and that's just not the way it is. So, fan perspective, yes, it is frustrating to have a few games and then not have one for 1 week, but we got to lose our selfishness because we got to think outside of that. Their families are important. Their lives are important, so we have to put that in consideration.
For sure. And so, I'm curious now too, because there was an opt-out period. And let's say that there was another world and y'all two were still in the league. Would y'all have opted out or would you still have played?
Me, without question, I would have played.
My man. I knew
I
it.
ain't gonna lie, I would have played too. I don't know. I probably – because I couldn't imagine me sitting down for 16 weeks and just completely just working out. But that's just the competitiveness in me to want to play. If I have a chance to play and I'm healthy enough to play, I'm definitely going to suit up and play. But it's hard to say that because we're not putting on the pads anymore. So now it's a little different. It's a he say, she say kind of thing because as a player you want to play, but as a fan you're like, I think it's smart to not play and keep the family healthy.
For sure. Well, honestly, and so I knew y'all's two answers before I even asked that question. That's why I was, the biggest fan of both of you back in the day. So, that was always good. So, now I think it's a fantastic segue to start hitting up this plethora of questions that we got. And Takeo, let me say that there were several that wanted to know your trap workout routine, but we will skip those. There was several that dove into that. But starting off with probably one of my favorites, and I'm curious to see that. What was your trash talk game like back in the day? This comes from Ethan.
Ethan, it was personal.
Oh, wow.
I would make it personal because once I got to the point of understanding and knowing what I had to do, then it was really understanding everybody as a linebacker. it made the game easier. And then, like, as I'm watching film, you know, my close friends still to this day, we talk about these stories. But if I'm watching film, if I didn't like a dude mannerisms on the offensive side of the ball, and like if you get up and you give me this tough look and this tough like you can I don't like you the rest of the week. And so the more I see you, the more it pisses me off. And so then in the back of the room, you know, they was youngsters at the time, Angelo Crowell, Mario Hagan. They'll egg London Fletcher on and be like, Fletch, like what Spike's gonna do? What he's gonna do? And so now then it's like, all right, I promise you I'm gonna make him tap out by the third quarter. You know what I mean? So that was the type of mindset that I had, man.
Sick. So, like, I mean, does any specific scenario come to mind where, like, I mean, like, you just saw someone on the opposing offense and, like, you just said something like you were like, I want to get in this dude's head. And, like, what did you say to him? And so, like, I mean, like, right after, like, I mean, like, you laid somebody out or, you know.
Man, I don't think this is going to be disclosed, but if it is, I want to hear this.
And so if it's not disclosed, I know that Aaron will tell me.
Oh, I'll definitely tell you what I said. I don't care.
Oh, it was just one fullback in particular.
Oh, damn. Okay.
And I came up in the era to where fullbacks were like fullbacks.
Yep.
And you like Sam Gash, Lorenzo Neal, like all of these cats, and Tony Richardson, different style breed of fullback, but it was just one in particular, like I didn't like him. And I was like, this dude here was punishing linebackers week in and week out. So I was just like, all right, fellas, instead of me making him tap out fourth quarter, I promise you I'm going to take his soul in the third quarter. And I mean, we got in a damn fight. And this one time, referee separated us. And then I remember one of his teammates like, man, why you – like he ain't even do nothing. You know, chill out, because they just wanted to play. They got tired. Then I was like – I looked at him. I was like, I told you his bitch ass about to tap out. I'm telling you. Look at him. You got your lineman talking up for you. Oh, man, that was classic.
Yeah.
But
my God.
So that's, you know, most times it was more so fun because I know I'm going to see you in the off season. And like, we may have lost the game, but guarantee you're going to give me my respect. So that's what my trash talking looked like.
Oh, man. And so, I mean, like, now, like, I, like, know that, like, I mean, like, we're not supposed to be asking Aaron questions, but, I mean, I'm just generally curious. So, like, I mean, like, what's, like, the most ruthless thing you've ever said to someone after, like, you, like, laid them out or whatever?
Man, I got vulgar out in the field, man. But it wasn't nothing unpersonal because I really didn't know these guys outside of football besides saying what's up and like hanging out for like a few minutes and going our separate ways. So my trash talking was fun, but it was also trying to get in your head. So I'm talking about your mom. I'm talking about your girlfriend. I'm talking about your family. I'm trying to get in your head to like make you get off your game, get off your course. So I'm not gonna say I'd say it every single game, but I mean, Dan, you see, I had a lot of altercations when I was with the Bills. So
Yeah.
So
that's why I loved you, man.
A lot, you know, and it was just to bring the energy, man. It wasn't just to, you know, isolate myself as the number one trash talker. It was to get my teammates pumped up. It's for me to get pumped up. Like that's just part of the game for me.
Okay.
But what I said, I mean, I don't want to say it on air, but it was like a lot of, you know, use a bitch, you know, you trash, you know what I'm saying, you little baby, you know what I'm saying, you small to me, you know, a lot of stuff like that. It was just whatever to get in their head, to be honest.
Damn. And well, I mean, like that was definitely entertaining. And so, I mean, I've always wanted to be like a fly on the wall, like right, like on like the on field, like minus like sometimes where like the hot mic will pick something up in the sidelines, but that was beautiful. So next question comes from Silver Smasher, and he says, "Hey Takeo, huge fan. Seeing that with Tremaine Edmonds' struggles this year, if you could give him advice on how to overcome this, what would you tell him?"
I don't think it's just him. I just think they're going through it defensively overall. And so I think you said what advice would I give him?
Yeah.
I just, stay the course because it's a marathon. It's all a game. It's all a race, but it's a marathon. And don't have too much implied pressure. Like, I understand to have the expectation, but I understand, like, you're a pawn in the game. And he's still young, so the more and more he continues to develop that rapport with the rest of his teammates and understand that, I think that will help him as he continue to move forward, because I know he got nicked up a few weeks ago, came back, but tremendous talent. I'll tell you a story that a lot of people don't know. When he came out of Virginia Tech, I trained him a few sessions right before he got ready to go to the draft. And I knew at the time, I was like, this dude here ain't even 20? I think he was just 20 years old, just turned 20. And I was like, boy, you a baby. But just to see him move and to be able to put him on certain drills that I knew that they were going to do, it was awesome. It was good. And I knew just from watching him and then watching him play, because at that time I used to do color commentary for ACC Network, and I used to call their games. So I see all of the guys play, but I knew he was going to be special, knew he was going to be a player.
Yeah. And so that's definitely interesting. This year, it's funny because Bills fans were used to last year in 2019 where we rode the back rate of our defense to right to the 10-6 final record, but now it seems to have switched. And me and Aaron actually talked about this last podcast, but I'm sort of curious to hear your thoughts. Why do you think that the Bills are struggling defensively this year, and let alone the entire NFL? Because defense really has not been much this year so far. So what are your thoughts on why this has been an issue?
I think they came up under, I don't care how much you can go learn from Zoom meetings. There's nothing like actually going out doing it.
Got it.
And I would probably say most football players are, maybe 80%, 80, 90% actual do guys. They have to do it, in order to make that a good rep. So I think that's been challenging for them. I also think, when you have different people put in different situations, it's crazy to me to look at this defense and to see that they're ranked in the bottom half of the league. It's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I never thought I would ever see that. And then knowing the head coach. Now, to say all of that to say, the reason why a lot of people were disappointed is simply because when you look at Leslie Frazier, you look at the head coach, Sean McDermott, that's their DNA. We're going to be physical. We're going to fly around. We're going to play smart, physical, fast football. How I know that? Coach McDermott was my coach when I was in Philly. And he is, I knew he was going to be a head coach. Just see it from the early stages. So the disappointing part overall is just probably simply due to them not having enough continuity with each other. I truly believe you measure a team in the National Football League from how they do from week 3 to week 5. That truly tells you, because you're after the first quarter of the season. Some of the same mistakes that you don't want your guys to make in the first 2 games, you have to understand they are going to make them. And especially coming from the situation that these guys are actually playing in now. So I truly believe now you will really see and really keep track of the true grit and the true metrics of what this defense is going to be for the rest of the season. But offensively, they are lighting it up. Yeah. Who would have ever thought?
No one.
Josh Allen would have the 3rd highest quarterback rating in the NFL right now. You know what I mean? So that's and he's behind Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? So as much as we hate it and people in Buffalo love defense, I'll take it, and I'm sure they will.
Yeah. Exactly. 110%, dude. I was defending Josh Allen the second that he got drafted, and I'm just happy that I was And so I made some random prediction that, I mean, he would be eventually like right in the MVP conversation. I mean, I just loved seeing what he did, like not only in college, but then like really going and making that transition right into the NFL. I mean, this is a very exciting time to be a Bills fan. And so, which is a great segue right to my next question. What are your thoughts on the Bills in 2020? So are they just going to pull a repeat of the 2008 team that went 5-0 and then finished the season out to 7-9, or is this a different team from your perspective?
Different team from this perspective. That team back in 2008 didn't have the type of quarterback that they have now. And this quarterback is the future. He was drafted with the intentions on being the future. So the more and more I think about it, no, they are not going to even be close. I think what we see from the Bills is there to stay on the offensive side, and they haven't even figured out the running part yet. So they're going to do that. But then defensively, I think this team is going to continue to get stronger the more and more they play with each other, as I stated earlier. And people ask me all the time before the season starts, does this division belong to the Buffalo Bills? And I've always said it, I'm going to say it now. This division belongs to the New England Patriots until you dethrone them.
Yeah.
And so do I think they have a good enough team to do it? Yeah. And they've had teams good enough in the past. But it's something different about this team. And you take into factor that New England is not really playing with a lot of their guys, but they're still playing, so a win is a win. But you have to understand, I think the nucleus of this team has been together, and the intentions are just different. And you got a quarterback who's giving you something that you haven't had since the late 90s. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why I think this team is different.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. And I mean, I know a lot of Bills Mafia is relieved to hear you say that, because I mean, there's been so many teams like right in the past that have looked good, but just like really haven't been able to like take that next step. Like, and so back in 2004, like back when you were with the Bills, like, I mean, like we had Drew Bledsoe, we had you, obviously, we had Eric Moulds, Lee Evans. Like, I mean, that team looked amazing. And it's crazy, man. It's like definitely crazy to think it almost tasted weird coming out of my mouth being like, wow. And so the Buffalo Bills might have like a top 3 quarterback right now. It's insane.
Hey, you look at it, shit, you might need to keep saying it until it's not there. Because right now he's a top 3 quarterback.
And just manifest it. Manifest it. Oh, damn.
Top 3 in touchdowns. I want to say he's probably number 2 when it comes to yards passed in the league.
Yeah. And yeah, for sure. Not bad for a quarterback that's inaccurate, right? Not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
Oh, man. And so I know that Aaron has some burning questions for you, so I think I'm going to pass the mic.
Yeah,
pass the mic on over to him.
I have a few questions for the legendary man himself. Takeo, who was your your OG, the guy, like a player that took you under your wing when you first came into the league? Who was that guy to like show you how to be a pro?
Man, I would say when I first got in, I was fortunate because I was drafted with the Bengals and in 98, but I had this guy on the team who he's on the ballot to be in the Hall of Fame, and he should be there faster than anybody, Willie Anderson, offensive lineman. We also played 1 year together in Auburn. And the thing what he did that was so valuable to me was he kind of gave me the blueprint and how to be successful. He's like, don't come in the locker room looking like you hungover. I don't care how good the night was the night before or how good she was. I don't care where y'all went. Don't come back in here looking like it. And don't come back in here smelling like it. So I came into a locker room I felt like was very dysfunctional. And it was easy to get caught up. And that was the reason why, like, year after year after year, certain teams are not good because the culture isn't good. And so he was the guy who took me under the wing and really showed me, like, All right, I'm gonna show you the pros. I'm gonna show you the cons. It's up to you how good you want to be at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So that's what it boiled down to.
That's what's up. I like that. I like that. What game was your best game out of all of your seasons being in NFL? What was that one game you could think back and be like, man, I showed up and showed out today, that game? Because I know you had a lot of games. You have a lot of games. I know you had a lot of games like that.
220, but I mean, I got great moments. So I give you one, and I think it's fitting for what we're talking about now and the platform that we are on. The first time I played in a Bills game, and it was against the New England Patriots, 2003, first game of the year. During that week, Lawyer Malloy, he got released, cut from the Bills. We picked him up, and he came on, and I didn't know what was going to happen. Bro, I came out that game, I had double-digit tackles.
Okay.
I had 2 interceptions.
Ooh!
I had a knockout hit of Troy Brown going across the middle, separating him from the ball. Like I was on fire.
Right.
I mean, so like that's probably one of the greatest memories because everybody wanted to know, all right, you paid this dude all this money. Like, what is his contribution gonna be? So I ended up winning AFC Defensive Player of the Week that week. Yeah, I'll never forget that, bro.
There we go. What's so I'm gonna get into like more of a player to player question instead of a fan question. What's one of the weirdest things that happened to you during training camp?
And so Aaron's story is hysterical.
Oh, so. Yeah. I got because the reason why I asked is because when I first got drafted, and this was when during the lockout, so I didn't have the time to like grab a place, figure out the city, know my coaches, any of that. So we go out to Rochester, and I think it's like maybe the first week we had just got there, and our GM, I can't remember what his name at the time. I'm gonna look it up, but our GM at the time had called me right after practice and was like, he thought I was Lee Evans. This is when they cut Lee. So I got a call from our GM, and he said, "Hey, you done a great job for us, and we love how you played for us, and it's just it's unfortunate that your time, we must part ways." And I'm thinking like, hold up, man, you literally just drafted me, and I've only been in practice for 1 week. And he goes, "Oh, wait, this isn't Lee Evans?" I said, "No, sir, this is Aaron Williams." He goes, "Oh, well, please keep this a secret. Nobody knows about this."
Hey, secret, go on now, dog.
Hey, man, my heart dropped so bad. I thought I did something wrong. I thought it was a wrap for me. I was like, I just got there. So that's why I asked you, what's one of the craziest things that's happened to you in training camp?
Oh, that story was so good. I forgot the question you even asked. So, but no, I'm good. One of the craziest things was, oh, you know what? Crazy thing. Simple but crazy. My last year in the league, it was my 15th year, and I didn't know it was going to be my last one. But Eric Weddle walked up beside me. He was like, "Spikes, in 2 days, we'll be out of training camp." I'm like, "All right." I said, "What's your point?" He was like, "I just wanted to let you know, I looked at your bio or your previous, and you never missed a training camp. So after 3 days, you will have officially spent a year and 3 months out of your life in training camp."
Jeez.
And I had to think about that, and I was like, damn, you know what? You're right. And you know how much we hated training camp.
I'm telling you.
Like, that shit was like, God, that's –
it hurts talking about it.
Yeah, man, you seeing the same people, the damn same conversation. You know, first when you first get there, you're talking to your lady every night. Then after that, you ain't trying to talk to her.
Right, right.
You know, it's just like you're just sick of everything, man. Then the people you see people walking around, might see a young lady, be like, man, never even noticed her. Week 3, you look around again, you got the camp eye. You thinking she looking like Miss America.
I'm telling you.
Like everything.
Camp eye? And so for a second, I honestly thought that Aaron was going to tell the story where he had to like sign a boob. Like that was the story that I thought he was going to tell you.
Question. That was going to be definitely my next question.
Oh, got it.
Because my man Takeo has been in the league way longer than I have, and I know for sure he's been asked millions of times, can you please, Mr. Spikes, autograph this, and that? Now, what I'm going to ask you is, and you don't have to answer because, you know, it's your right not to. What is the craziest place you've ever autographed someone? Or what is the craziest request you got before? I signed a few titties myself. I'm not gonna lie about that.
You know what? I haven't been fortunate enough to sign any titties, but I tell you one thing. This young lady asked me to sign her chest where her heart is at. So I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, that's kind of
what there, but it was like up high.
Yeah,
I was like, and I felt so uncomfortable because her boyfriend was right beside her.
Oh man.
So I was like, all right, let me sign this left hand just in case if he do something, I can put my helmet in this right hand in case if he feeling funny. Like, because I'm thinking like, dude, how can you sit up here and let me sign your lady chest though?
Right, not me, not I.
That was one I had to damn sit down and process that one, bro.
Yeah. And then last question. Oh, by the way, Buddy Nix was the one who called me that during my story. So, Buddy Nix, I appreciate you scaring me my first week of being in the NFL. But my last question for you is, what is it about Buffalo that what do you like about Buffalo? What has Buffalo brought to you? What has Buffalo done to you as a person, as a player? Why is Buffalo such a great city but not publicized or not getting a lot of rep, I guess?
You don't have the glitz and glamour that a lot of other cities has, and you just look at the city, just the industry, the type of people there. But what made it special for me was it reminded me of what Friday night football felt like in Georgia, what Friday night football felt like in Texas, in Florida, in California, in certain areas. So I remember I never forget this story. One fan came up to me. He was like, Takeo, I'm going to tell you, I got to be honest. The power company called me today and told me they were going to cut off my, my power so I won't have any heat. And I was like, well, like that's an easy question.
Right.
He was like, I'm just letting you know that it costs $150 for me to turn it on. And I'm not giving them my money because I won't have a ticket to go see the game. And as you talk about something hitting reset on me, I'm thinking, damn, dude,
Yes,
you really die hard.
Yeah.
And so I was like, it made me feel like, man, I ain't even complaining, man. This dude here finna sit in the cold in his house and don't pay his power bill? Oh, no. I just told him, I said, look, we gonna make it worthwhile. We'll heat it up for you. Now, on Monday, you might need to find something to go pay that, but at least until Sunday, you will be good.
Absolutely. And that's why I say, I'm not saying that just because I'm a former Bill, but Buffalo Bills fan base is by far the best fan base in the NFL. And I know, you got your Cowgirls and you got your San Francisco Niners, but nobody goes harder on tailgating. Nobody goes harder during the game. Nobody goes harder after the game than the Bills Mafia. And that is a true fact. I dare somebody to test me on that. I have all day to rebuttal, and I'm going to just leave it at that.
And so that's interesting. So back in the day, back in the early 2000s, was the table breaking still a thing? because like that's like back like I mean like when I was like 11 or 12 years old. So I mean like, I didn't see it, and it was before social media. So like, how long has the table breaking thing been around?
I think they were breaking tables back then, but it just wasn't publicized because we didn't
Got it.
have the social media.
Got it.
You
Got
know,
it.
like I remember after games, what was so cool was myself, Drew Bledsoe, and I can't remember somebody else. We used to have our own RVs, and we used to box it in the RVs together, and then we have a cookout just for all of the families. And so we used to have like the visiting team come over and eat good with, you know what I mean? It was just all bread breaking and like good fellowship, you know what I mean? So, but I remember the tailgating was awesome. Even just from riding by looking at the fans.
And would you ever go through a table
Hell
yourself?
no.
If
Hell
someone
no.
asked you?
That would be a negative.
That'd be a negative?
Yeah.
Got it.
Hey,
Got
Dan,
it.
I got one more question for Takeo. Takeo,
Good.
now, a lot of people don't realize well, they do. They kind of understand what it is, but because you had a chance to have a lot of rookie nights. What is one of the best experiences of rookie nights you've came across? Because you've had 15 rookie nights. So
Yep.
I know you have a good amount of stories you can give us about rookie night. And for those who don't know what rookie night is, rookie night in the NFL is you pick a particular week where you guys, it's usually either in the bye week or after a Thursday night game where you take your rookie and your rookie has to pretty much just please us and buying food and then whatever else the veterans have decided for them to pay. So give us just one instance of one of your rookie nights.
All right, rookie night. So I'm gonna give you this one before we hop off. It actually happened in Buffalo.
There we go.
So like the guys came into the room, they already knew like we behind you guys. You guys never missed a game ever. So chances are of us playing is slim. So, and we reminded them of that too. But we didn't fail to teach the younger guys. That was something we took pride in, myself, London Fletcher. So we made them get us a big limo bus. We drove up to Toronto.
Yes, sir.
Planned it around the Raptors game.
Yes, sir.
You know, and they paid for everything. We got courtside tickets.
Oh, the courtside. Yes.
Feet on the floor. And the rookies, they came too, but we put them up in the roof on the third floor.
That's hilarious.
Oh, they were so mad. Then we took them. Then we went to one of the most expensive steakhouses of all time, and we ate good that night, bro. I remember taking a bottle of Louis home with me because it was so good.
Yes, sir.
And bro, we hit them over the head like that. We went to the club. We did all of this in one night. Had a great time. We pulled back up at the facility at 6:45, and the first meeting was at 7.
Mm-hmm.
Man, love
Good
it.
old days. Good old days. That's awesome. That's awesome here. But yeah, okay. Whew.
Wow.
Now, how much do you think he spent, roughly? Courtside itself is enough for me.
Yeah, that was like.
I had to be at least about 3 bands.
Yeah, then that dinner was 12,000.
Oh,
Wow.
Limo. Then we even bought hotel rooms and didn't even
use it.
use it.
Man,
I would probably say it was and my brothers came too. So I would probably say at least.
It ain't fun unless the fam can have some.
Yeah, exactly. So an 18 to 20K night, easy.
Okay, I think mine personally was 10K personally, but we had 3 rookies in my year, so we had me, Denoris Cersei, and one other cat. So we had at least my tab itself. I paid for dinner and part of the club. My tab itself was 10 bands, and then what they ever paid for dinner. So yeah, I'd say about 15, 20 bands. Yeah, that sounds about right.
So at least they kept it consistent. So good. The legacy is still living.
The legacy definitely continues, my man, for sure. Definitely.
Oh man. And so I really wonder what the rookie nights are like right now. To be
Oh,
honest
probably
with you.
nothing. They can't do nothing. So they're lucky. They lucked out. They
Yeah.
lucked out. For
And
sure.
so this year, like they definitely lucked out. Damn.
Yeah, they definitely lucked out.
Look at that. Look at that. Well, and hey, Bills Mafia, you know what? I think that's going to have to wrap up the episode. Once again, Takeo, we really appreciate you coming on, man. It was an absolute pleasure.
Oh, man, I appreciate it, man. Enjoyed you guys. Dan and A-Dub, man, y'all hold it down, bro.
And so, yeah, man, we definitely will. And so, Bills Mafia, say that you're watching this on YouTube, that I am going to be putting his podcast link in my description. So make sure that you go over there and subscribe on YouTube and subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you want. And so he puts on a fantastic show. And so besides that, guys, thank you once again. And
thank you,
above
Mr.
all
Legend,
else,
Takeo Spikes, man. Appreciate it, man, for the insight and just what you've been through and all that. So thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, good, bro. Much success to you guys, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. And
Right
so
on.
let's go Buffalo, baby.